Welcome to the Global Skill Development Council, your gateway to digital transformation. We are an independent, vendor-neutral ISO IEC 1024 accredited certification body committed to helping individuals and organizations stay future-ready in a rapidly evolving world. GSDC is accredited by the Accreditation Board for International Certification Bodies, ABICB. For 10 years, we've certified more than 100,000 professionals across Europe, North America, Asia, and Africa, with our offices in Switzerland, the United States, and Singapore. Our programs are recognized by leading publications and podcasts, including Forbes, Tech Target, People Managing People. We offer 100-plus globally accredited certifications across emerging and in-demand domains like generative AI and emerging technologies, HR and learning and development, project management and agile Scrum, ISO and quality management, information security. Each GSDC certification is designed to empower professionals with confidence and help organizations stay competitive in a fast-changing landscape. Every certification is crafted with insights from 100-plus global advisory board members representing top universities and leading industry experts. Our certified professionals are trusted by 500-plus multinational companies, which help unlock better roles, faster promotions, and delivering cutting-edge expertise. We partner with 100-plus authorized training partners and 50-plus universities, supporting talent across all career levels, from entry-level to executive leadership. As a GSDC member, you gain lifelong access to interactive webinars, hands-on workshops, SME panels, and global summits. Join a vibrant community of 25,000-plus members and be part of our global events. Check our reviews on Trustpilot. We're trusted worldwide for quality, support, and impact. Whether you're aiming higher or building tomorrow's talent, GSDC is your partner in purposeful growth and impactful leadership. Visit our website to explore our offerings. GSDC, share the best practices and learn from the best practices. Welcome to the Global Skill Development Council, your gateway to digital transformation. We are an independent, vendor-neutral ISO IEC 1024 accredited certification body committed to helping individuals and organizations stay future-ready in a rapidly evolving world. GSDC is accredited by the Accreditation Board for International Certification Bodies, ABICB. For 10 years, we've certified more than 100,000 professionals across Europe, North America, Asia, and Africa, with our offices in Switzerland, the United States, and Singapore. Our programs are recognized by leading publications and podcasts, including Forbes, Tech Target, People Managing People. We offer 100-plus globally accredited certifications across emerging and in-demand domains like generative AI and emerging technologies, HR and learning and development, project management and agile Scrum, ISO and quality management, information security. Each GSDC certification is designed to empower professionals with confidence and help organizations stay competitive in a fast-changing landscape. Every certification is crafted with insights from 100-plus global advisory board members representing top universities and leading industry experts. Our certified professionals are trusted by 500-plus multinational companies, which help unlock better roles, faster promotions, and delivering cutting-edge expertise. We partner with 100-plus authorized training partners and 50-plus universities, supporting talent across all career levels, from entry-level to executive leadership. As a GSDC member, you gain lifelong access to interactive webinars, hands-on workshops, SME panels, and global summits. Join a vibrant community of 25,000-plus members and be part of our global events. Check our reviews on Trustpilot. We're trusted worldwide for quality, support, and impact. Whether you're aiming higher or building tomorrow's talent, GSDC is your partner in purposeful growth and impactful leadership. Visit our website to explore our offerings. GSDC, share the best practices and learn from the best practices. Welcome to the Global Skill Development Council, your gateway to digital transformation. We are an independent, vendor-neutral ISO IEC 1024 accredited certification body committed to helping individuals and organizations stay future-ready in a rapidly evolving world. GSDC is accredited by the Accreditation Board for International Certification Bodies, ABICB. For 10 years, we've certified more than 100,000 professionals across Europe, North America, Asia, and Africa, with our offices in Switzerland, the United States, and Singapore. Our programs are recognized by leading publications and podcasts, including Forbes, Tech Target, People Managing People. We offer 100 plus globally accredited certifications across emerging and in-demand domains like generative AI and emerging technologies, HR and learning and development, project management and agile Scrum, ISO and quality management, information security. Each GSDC certification is designed to empower professionals with confidence and help organizations stay competitive in a fast-changing landscape. Every certification is crafted with insights from 100 plus global advisory board members representing top universities and leading industry experts. Our certified professionals are trusted by 500 plus multinational companies, which help unlock better roles, faster promotions, and delivering cutting-edge expertise. We partner with 100 plus authorized training partners and 50 plus universities, supporting talent across all career levels, from entry level to executive leadership. As a GSDC member, you gain lifelong access to interactive webinars, hands-on workshops, SME panels, and global summits. Join a vibrant community of 25,000 plus members and be part of our global events. Check our reviews on Trustpilot. We're trusted worldwide for quality, support, and impact. Whether you're aiming higher or building tomorrow's talent, GSDC is your partner in purposeful growth and impactful leadership. Visit our website to explore our offerings. GSDC, share the best practices and learn from the best practices.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. A very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you're watching this session from. Please drop your locations in the chat box. We would love to see them. And meanwhile, I'll quickly share my screen and we can start with today's session. Here we go. I hope you all can see my screen. Please bear with me. I'm sorry for that. So yes, thank you so much again, everyone, for joining today's session. I would love to give you all a very warm welcome to our series, GSDC Certified Learning AI Agent in Action, Optimizing System Data and Processes, with the theme that is why AI agent are the backbone of enterprise optimization in 2026. My name is Preetham. I'll be here as moderator today. Feel free to use the chat box in case if you have any question or concern, and I'm very happy to assist you all. So what makes it more exciting? So as you all know that we always have this incredible AI experts around the globe who will be joining us to share their insights, right? So this week from 4th May to 8th May 2026 on the same time slot, which is 8:30 a.m. Central, 9:30 p.m. Singapore, 7 p.m. Indian Standard Time, and 9:30 a.m. Eastern. So please do join us for all the upcoming session this week, which is scheduled for all of you. And before I could hand over the session to our speaker, a quick introduction to GSDC, those who have joined us for the first time. We're known as Global Skill Development Council. We're vendor agnostic, vendor neutral, and we're globally recognized certification body. Also, we are accredited by ABICB. And also, we do have 100 plus certification portfolio with us. We have certified more than 250,000 professionals so far. Also, we are in association with 1,000 plus multinational corporates, 500 Fortune companies, and 50 plus universities across the world. And a very proud thing to share with you all that we do have 100 plus authorized training partners across the region. So a big thanks to our training partners and those who have joined us to our training partner channel. In case if you're looking for any training program for yourself, feel free to reach out to our training partners to have an inquiry about it. I will be sharing their contact details in the chat box shortly. And this is our official media partner, World Press Hub. They cover all our events and press releases. A quick introduction to GSDC AI Studio, amazing platform for all the AI learners out there. So we do provide 100 plus live sessions here on AI, which is led by global experts, where you'll be getting 4 daily sessions, which is live sessions and impactful sessions, along with the hands-on learning, where you can apply all the concept that you have learned in that particular session. And all your questions will be answered immediately with the help of our subject matter experts and our global leaders. And also, This certification, this training is aligned with the industry standards for the absolutely for the job ready skills. And I believe this is an amazing opportunity to learn from the AI leaders around the world. And in case if you're wondering how to access the GSDC AI Studio, get in touch with our learning advisors for more information about GSDC AI Studio and the sessions that we have over there. And a quick introduction to our certification portfolio. So we do have certification offerings in learning and development, generative AI, agentic AI, emerging technology, ISO lead, auditor, implementer, project management, PMO, agile DevOps, SRE, cybersecurity, digital transformation, and so on. So in case if you're looking for any of this certification for yourself, feel free to reach out to our learning advisors, as this all certification is specifically designed for all the professionals out there who want to upskill themselves or who are looking to stay industry relevant in this AI era, right? So get in touch with our learning advisors. Also, you can visit our website for more information and to check other offerings that GSTC has for all of you. And this all the benefits that you'll be getting if you opt out a certification from GSTC. You will become a GSTC's member for a lifelong. With that, you'll be getting certificate upgrade, free access to all of our events, workshop, boot camps, and guess what? Free access to all of our exclusive learning clubs that we have. Along with that, you'll be getting implementation resources, speaker invites, and newsletters. A lot of benefits, right? So in case if you're looking for more information about all these benefits and to understand more about these benefits, get in touch with our learning advisors. And without any further delay, I'm truly honored to welcome Nisarg again. So Nisarg is a lead AI engineer, Global Bank Singapore, board member at GSDC, and professional AI trainer. Nisarg specializes in building enterprise-grade multi-agent AI system using RAG, MCP-based orchestration and autonomous reasoning. He has developed production AI platform across finance, HR, healthcare, and public sector domains. We are proud to have him as our advisory board member at GSDC, and he has contributed to many our previous sessions with valuable insights. Nisarg also leads the Agentic AI Masterclass community and is frequently speaker on multi-agent system design. Thank you so much, Nisarg, for joining us today. So he'll be presenting today's topic. It is building intelligent fraud detection workflows using AI agents and real-time data. So for all the people from the finance industry, it is going to definitely helpful for all of you. So you can have the handover of the mic now.
Thanks. Thank you, Preetham. Thanks for the introduction. Okay, let me share my screen. Let me know once you can see my screen. Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Perfect. Let's get started. Hello, everyone. Yes, good morning, GSDC. Thank you so much again for bringing me on this platform, giving me an opportunity to talk about, our experiences. So two things which are accelerating right now in finance services, fraud losses, and the cost of fighting them, because both are super unsustainable. And we want to be very clear before we start that what you're about to see is not a vendor pitch. It's actually not even a theory. It is reality. Okay. So my name is Mr. Kadam, as Pritam has already introduced. So I work as a lead AI engineer and AI architect inside one of the major international banks. I also lead kind of masterclass trainings in the AI space. So what about the use case that we are just going to discuss? Okay, this use case that we are going to discuss is something which is in the market at this point, super important, super relevant, and very much at the forefront, right? So look at the numbers. The numbers, these are not just the vendor numbers. FBI, IC3, FTC Consumer Sentinel, UK Finance, Singapore Police Force, right? ACFE, FATE. These all numbers, these 16.6 billion dollars in an internet crime in the US alone. Now that's the FBI's own report generated by FBI. And these all fraud reports, what you have seen right now on the screen, right? These are all the reality of AI frauds in 2025. These all frauds are happening around the globe, and the numbers are staggering, scary, and also these numbers are showing us that how scary AI can become industry wide when there is finance involved, and how AI can impact finance at the level, right? So UK Finance just declared 1.17 billion pounds in a fraud loss with an APP scam as a dominant pattern. And here in Singapore, where I work currently, where many of you also might be living, right? So work and the police force confirmed that $1.1 billion of Singapore dollars is a scam loss just happened in 2024 alone itself. Not even 2025. There's no report of 2026 yet, but that's a very scary number again. Okay, so I'll tell you why. Fraud is the first industry to weaponize generative AI at a scale because fraud dedicatedly itself is a huge department where people are looking into specifically how to avoid it and how to mitigate it. Deep fake voices, synthesis identities, polymorphic phishing. Meanwhile, the defenders, many of them, right, are still arguing about that model governance committees and who owns this feature store. So basically, if you are part of fraud's team, tooling has not changed since 2022, to be honest. And if you look at that tool systems which are being used, they are still not ready or agnostic for safeguarding from AI in this 2026 era. Now, why this yesterday's defense are failing? Right? Three things again. Every bank in this room, rules, engines, ML models, manual review queues. It's usual, right? What I have built as a demo is it's the agents that rules for for the market of fraud, right? And they are basically deterministic, auditable, right? Fast, regulator, and they can also read all of these details that we want to catch, right? Now, there's manual review also, which is involved. The third point, which you look at, the analyst in the fraud ops teams, right? They're the ones who actually catch it. They want to look at what exactly is happening. ACFE 2024 confirmed it that the tips and human judgment are still leading the detection method, literally human judgment, right? But humans cannot scale. We are limited. And even the intelligence which is being captured by AI is still a problem, right? So none of this is actually wrong, to be honest. All of them are okay, but they are insufficient. And the main problem is not that any one of these is broken. The problem is that these are not ready for the live fraudsters and the smart fraudsters, which are now coming up with the power force of AI. So there's no judgment, but there's still a room to improve, right? In the way we work. Now, from static monitoring to adaptive fraud intelligence. Okay. So many of the banks who are here was still static monitoring, a transaction hit rules, a flag is raised, a batch is reviewed. By the next morning, the money is gone. Customer is angry, SAR is being written, okay? And for an attack that already is done, succeeded, money is finished. End of story, right? Today, right now, it is signal-based detection. So ML scores the transaction in real time. If it's above the threshold, it goes to a queue. But queue still grows faster than analyst can actually clear it out. So still there is a lot of queue which is being accumulated, and we are still waiting for that queue to be completed. So by the end of tomorrow, I mean now, for the institutions which are willing to invest, this fraud intelligence is something which is powerful, event driven, real time feature. It rules and ML and graph signals running together. So policy guarded RAG. So there's also a policy guarded RAG, if you can see the keyword which I've mentioned there. Then there is AI agent orchestrator, which is very powerful, and a feedback loop which closes every analyst verdict and makes the system smarter for every second morning. Because of this, the agent is kind of a conductor. It's not a soloist, correct? That agent basically will manage and land the entire pipeline together rather than depending upon humans. Because right now we are fighting against AI, not against humans, right? Remember that always. So what we will build, a quick agenda, right? Let's say thread surface, then there is building blocks, reference architectures. There are so many things which are here, which I want to talk about. Now look at this, the modern fraud threat surface. Okay. Now 10 fraud types, which are on the slides, which you can see, right? So the number 5, authorized push payment scams. Authorized push payment scams are one of the most scary scams. Right? Then there is APP scams, which are highest ranked scams. Then there is the customer authorized transfer themselves under any social engineer, and the amount is gone. UK finances also confirmed that this APP scam are nowadays so dominant that consumer losses are at a high peak level, right? And if your fraud stack only blocks unauthorized transactions, you are blind to literally half of the threats that you have on the surface level. And the threats which I've mentioned here, As you can see, payment fraud, account takeovers, synthetic identity, right? Mule accounts, APP scams, business email compromises, card not present, insider fraud, AML adjustments. All of these are actually happening on the ground, right? Now, mule accounts. Mule accounts is a concept where mule account and synthetic identity frauds, these are the infrastructure of every modern scam. Okay. And the mule launderers, the synthetic ID season, kind of season for a whole month, and then they kind of activate the account and gone. End of story, right? So in this last 12 months, deepfake also has emerged a lot. And that deepfake, not only voice, but deepfake video also has emerged throughout, which is kind of creating problems in fraud industry also, right? This synthetic voice convincing CFOs to wire literally 40 millions of dollars. And if you know what I'm talking about. There are certain cases where the synthetic voice, synthetic video has actually emerged, and they kind of jumped in a call, and a CFO of a company kind of just wired $40 million based on that audio, which is again a huge crime, right? We have seen it, we know it. I don't want to name the country, but yeah, that has happened, right? Then, five building blocks of fraud detection: rules engine, ML fraud model. Machine learning is still so relevant in this case because we require a super trained model. Then anomaly detection, graph analytics, and finally, what we are looking at, what is the right next action to take is AI agent and system of fraud detection. Okay. All these five building blocks, what you see on screen, right? Out of them, the agent is not a substitute for other four. Agent basically reasons over other four of them. So other four still stays as it is from what we have seen periodically. Correct? If anyone in your organization is selling you that LLM can detect fraud, then they are selling you a proper hallucination engine attached with your customer transactions. You need to remember that LLM itself cannot just simply detect hallucination, cannot just simply detect any fraud or detect any anomalies. You need your original systems of rule engines, ML fraud models, anomaly detection, graph analytics. You require all of these. You require to interact with them, and you require a smarter system which is built on top of LLMs powerfully, which can interact with these applications and take actions. And that is agentic AI. That is where we require AI agents which will do this action, right? Now, I'll jump into orchestrator piece, right? And look at how simply sophisticated it can be designed without a hassle, right? So as you can see here, this is the reference architecture diagram, right? In this diagram, there are five lanes. Right? I'm going to walk from left to right. Look at this. This is how the data flows in production. So event sources, which are core of the banking, right? Payment rails, card switch, login events, device telemetry, CRM, KYC, sanction feeds. All of these are on the left hand side event sources. From these sources, these are the actual external threat intel. Everything that emits an event ends up in the second lane. In the second lane, if you see, there is streaming, Kafka, event hubs, and Nisys. Now, what we do is we pick up this streaming from Kafka, we pick up event hubs, then Kinesis, and pick your own specific cloud, whatever cloud that you're on right now. Stream all of those processings on top of Flink or Spark structured streaming. Once you get all the streamed data, your feature engineering or proper feature extraction of the data. When I say feature engineering, you need to extract features out of this information, right? You can call it windowing or joins or aggregation. And then once you extract the data, then the online feature store will basically be populated. So almost 10 milliseconds of time is only required to extract all of this data. So for that, you want to use high speed cache like Redis or DynamoDB or Bigtable. You can do that. And we will spend a whole amount of another slide on top of this feature. I'll talk about this later, right? But yeah, that is there. On the third lane, when we jump into a scoring layer. So you need rule engines, you need ML scoring services, you need graph intelligence. As I told you earlier, right? These three are still relevant. We still require them. You need a vector DB, which can store all of these runs in parallel, and none of them are replacing the next line, correct? In the next fourth lane, if you jump in, here comes your AI agent. Okay, now this AI agent is a whole new layer. The AI agent layer, it's an orchestrator. There are 8 specialist agents which are running parallelly. When I say parallelly, AI agents have capability to run these sub agents parallelly, right? Transaction risk, identity risk, device, graph, policy, triage, investigation copilot. human escalation, and the orchestrated dispatch in parallel. Now, once you dispatch all of them in parallel, the decision engine routes the verdict, right, to a case management. Now, that case management kind of picks it up and then goes to the last layer, which is the most important piece, the governance layer. Now, the governance layer kind of wraps everything up. There is an immutable audit log which will save every single time, no matter what. You have to, I kind of enable that also as a telemetry. Then model monitoring, and then there are feedback loops. And once you have the explainability dashboard, which will explain each and everything, you get all of the information stored into your IAMs, KMS, and your own data. Now, based on that, you can ask questions, you can understand the information, and you can get faster resolutions, right? Now, notice the agent layer sits above the deterministic scoring layer. It is not replacing your deterministic scoring layer, which your companies currently follow or which your fraud management platforms currently take care of, right? It's not in a place to replace it. It is on top of it, on top of the deterministic scoring layer, and works with that. The rules engine still has immense veto power on hard blocks, so keep it. The ML model still produces the calibrated score, fine-tuned over the years of period that you guys have implemented, so keep it. Don't change it. Agents which are reasoning over all of them, right, and then producing the output. This is the main architecture that we want to build. This is the architecture that is going to survive and actually generate the regulator audit. Replacing this whole architecture and just pulling up LLMs to fight against AI does not make sense. I hope you're coming from the point what I'm trying to gauge here, right? So you always require definitely human supervised models, right? You always require, or systems, I would say, you always require cloud agnostic technology. You always require a stream first approach. And to support all of this, right, you require a proper agentic orchestrator setup on top of your entire fraud systems. You cannot just simply replace entire systems which are there and which are fine tuned over the years of period. That's where, again, I'm not going to specifically name certain models, but there are certain models in the industry which are claiming to be very fast, accurate, and able to detect anomalies, and able to be very perfect in the fraud architecture of fraud systems, but they are not. You still require a proper agentic setup in order to work along with the systems together. Now, this multi-agent fraud workflow, right? One orchestrator, 5 specialist agents in parallel. I will name each one of them because the choice which specialist you build is totally different, right? Transaction risk agent, it's we check about amounts, velocity, beneficiary novelty. In the identity risk agents, we check KYC, we check sanction screening, we check synthetic ID detection. All of these checks we check within that proper agent, right? There is device and behavioral agent where we check fingerprints, biometrics, session anomaly. We can do that. We have LMs models also to do that, right? Graph and mule network agent, where you will perform the n-hop relationship between the graph and ring detection. And lastly, there is a policy and compliance agent. That policy and compliance agent kind of has its own knowledge management platform. It has its own RAG over SOPs. So rather than following a structured SOPs, the conventional SOPs, we follow RAG based SOPs, right? We have regulations chunked, extracted, and we have typological cards basically, which will help us to support there, right? This 5 runs in parallel. That is super critical. And if you run them sequentially, you will blow the latency budget of your LLM tokens consumption and you will just scream it out, right? But yes, you run them in parallel. If you run them in parallel, like we do in LangGraph or any other parallel sub-agentic systems, right? The whole path system stays under 300 milliseconds to 400 milliseconds if you run them in parallel and maintain them properly. The evidence aggregator, after this, what it does, it collects all the findings from each agent. Then the triage agent assigns the priority, confidence, right? And then 3 outcomes are decided, which are auto allow in logging, friction step up, and human escalation. And based on this separation, the the agent will decide an outcome where you have to land basically, right? So the only human escalation branch is allowed to be a little bit slow because yes, we require human in the loop and we cannot track human SLAs, right? While we are running agents. Everything else is live, fast, it literally is simply smooth. But yes, obviously you have to get PTUs in order to improvise your latency. And if you cannot enforce that, you do not have a real-time fraud system. You have a real-time alert generation system only. So you have to look into this setup where you can rely on agentic setup to actually perform and take actions. And that is why we require agents in today's modern world, right? Now, how a single transaction gets scored end to end. a single transaction end to end, I'm going to trace it at one speed, right? So just look at it. Event injection, entity resolution, correct? Then the real-time feature enrichment from online feature store. And then what happens is this is not actually not negotiable, right? So rules are pre-screened. If there's a hard rule hit, you will exit immediately without any SAR ready record, right? But you will still log it. You do not pass go, you do not call the LLM, you simply straight at stop it. Okay. So this kinds of systems you need to implement where the decision gate is always carefully designed, right? There is a risk time confidence, there is non-risk time confidence. This is also something which you have to capture, right? A 0.95 risk score with 0.30 confidence is an escalation purely. And let's say it's not a auto blocker, right? Most of the teams I have audited before, right? They forget the second multiplier. And what they do, they block a customer because the model said 95% it is a risk. But the model's confidence was only 30%. Why would you block it? Correct? So you need to consider both of the parameters, and that's how you get a proper setup, right? So this is what you have seen as a setup for per person or per single transaction, how it is getting scored nowadays, and how do you actually want to track it out, right? Every decision which is logged immutably, every step there's a proper storage, and you have to capture that step. There is hash chain also involved. You have to maintain the hash chain information. The regulator does not ask, did your agent do decide or just go ahead with it, right? They just ask, show me the audit trail. Nobody will come to your audit and say, tell me your agent or show me your agent, and let's run your agent and show me how it works and how it checks and how it audits, right? They will simply ask you for audit trail. So you have to log every single thing at every single point of time. So you can't just show running. You cannot just ship it without any governance approval, right? Now, human in the loop, where human comes into picture, where exactly analyst stays in this entire change, right? How does it work? So detection system basically raises the alert. Orchestrator instructs the investigator copilot to assemble an evidence pack. And this evidence pack, it's kind of a feature of a graph, subgraph kind of implementation. Similar past cases where policy citations are also taking place. Now what happens? This copilot, it delivers a pre-briefed case to analyst's queue. Analyst opens that case. They see the case has already staged. They ask follow-up questions in the natural language, like show me this customer's last 30 days of records. Okay. And the Copilot answers, but only with the one tool grounded data, not made up data, purely tool grounded data from customers' information. And but remember, you have to approve your CID, approval, and you have to go through that governance also, right? For such a huge setup. Analyst makes final decision either to block, allow, or file an SAR. Outcome will be labeled as feeds back as retraining signal. So it also hits retraining and goes back to the retraining of this AI agent, because we also want AI agents to be smarter, right? For the future transactions. Copilot kind of drafts, and technically human will be relaxed, right? The 20 minutes of context gathering compressed to 30 seconds. Okay. Earlier, this whole context grounding used to take at least 10 to 15 minutes, above 15 to 20 minutes for an expert person. Nowadays, it takes literally just 30 seconds for a human, right? And that's how it works, right? Human just stays, simply ask questions. That analyst will just ask natural language questions, not technical knowledge, no banking knowledge, right? Purely simple English question. This is where we push back on every executive who says, let's automate every analyst job and let's take away the job of analyst. No, we can't, right? We have been talking about this from last couple of years already, that automation will come, it will take away our job. AI will come, it will take away our job. Nobody is going to take away our jobs unless and until we have a proper system which is working with a deterministic flow, still making sense, right? But with more power, more natural language acceptance, and more brain functionality, where all the tedious tasks, repeated tasks that you're doing are eliminated, right? So again, when somebody says, let's automate the analyst and analyst will go away and agents will take care of it. No, agents cannot take care of it. We need analyst there at that point to actually take the approval decision, yes or no. Okay. We are augmenting them. We are, encouraging them. We are making them smarter, not replacing them. Correct. Anyone who promises a full automation in fraud ops either has never seen a complete audit report or is totally lying on the board, right? Immediately on front. So be very cautious about that. Those decisions are super important, right? The feature store is literally the heart of entire real-time fraud defense system. How this feature store works, right? If you remember from the architectural side, this one is the piece of that, the feature store architecture. The feature store basically is a single most important MLOps fix in the fraud detection, and the single most underbuilt piece in every bank that I have seen, and they already have it existing, right? There is an online store kind of which works under 10 milliseconds. It has Redis, Dynamo, big tables. This server is a pure hot path with rules, ML agents, all reading from the same source of truth, not scattered data. Then there are offline stores like S3 Bucket, GCS, ADLC, Icebergs, right? This is where the training data and analytical data, live data sits. And then a single feature registry govern both of the stores, same definition, same computation, training and usage of the same exact logic. This is what eliminates the training servers queue, which we used to look at earlier in machine learning. Okay, now I know I'm talking a little bit of terminological way, but yes, this is exactly what eliminates your entire training queue. The silent killer of every fraud machine learning team that has not invested here. You have a model that performs at 92 milliseconds in offline backup backset, right? But when you ship it, you go to production, it becomes 71%, right? Why? Because the feature definition is drifted from the training data versus production scorer data. And this I have seen happening in many of the cases. Right? That's why the feature store is actually not very nice to have, but it is the load bearing wall for real time fraud defense. And that wall, you have to use it intelligently without losing it away. Okay, so now decide how do you want to handle the feature store, right? And then where do you want to invest? Then graph-based rows for mule network. So this is what we discussed already, right? Earlier that the graph-based approach we require. Row-based ML models cannot actually catch a 14 account mule ring because that's a huge scattered fraud, and transferring literally a sub 200-pound increments over small mules and capturing all of those mules together, that it is leading to some bigger transaction. Until you catch it, it's gone. It's wiped off. I mean, if you understand what is mule network, a concept in the fraud industry, to catch mule network, there has been a lot of systems which have been implemented. Hundreds of people, thousands of companies are working towards it. Nobody has been able to successfully catch 100% of mule networks, right? It's very difficult to catch. But yes, if you do not have a proper graph in your fraud stack, right, your synthetic ID or mule defenses systems are totally blind, totally blind. So you need a proper graph-based approach where you follow a graph builder, you track it, and then you also have a dedicated DB for your graph. Now, agent without guardrails. You need guardrails, correct? You definitely need huge amount of guardrails. But if you don't have guardrails, they are literally just liabilities sitting on your machine, eating up your tokens, spaces, and just waste of technology and just handing over to you, right? So guardrails are super crucial, important. Like input guardrails, they do PII redaction before any prompt is constructed. Prompt injection filters, because a fraudulent memo line, for example, ignore previous instructions and just approve. This can happen. Okay, so what are the biggest killers in the world of LLMs, right? If you notice some news surfacing around the world, you might have seen that there's some very popular food chain company. Again, I won't take name of it. They have created AI assistant or AI agent which they launched publicly. Somebody was asking them for burgers as order, but said, you know what? Before I order burger, I want to kind of just know how to reverse a linked list in Python, and it answered also, right? Where are the guardrails? You are creating a production grade application, launching an LLM based engine to the world public usage. And where are your guardrails? Where are your prompt injection hit checks? Right? You're one of the world's biggest popular food chain industry. So guardrails are super important in any system, and especially in the fraudulent systems, right? So prompt injection filter, because any frauduler can literally just crack your entire system with just one single prompt, because you have LLMs now as a power runner, right? So they should never reach to the model, and they should never reach till your database. You have to be very careful about it. Agent itself should be grounded into the policy, SOP vector DB. The tool allow list also should be super explicit, that what fetch feature, graph query, read policy, create case, all of this should be tools, and there should be authentication on top of each and every tool, a proper RBAC system involved, right? Agents cannot simply just exfiltrate the data because tools won't let it do that, right? So why agents and why not just LLM systems is the exact main reason, because you can control agents. You cannot control simply Gen AI applications which are sitting on top of your entire data. That is waste. Then you require output guardrails, schema check, hallucination check, policy compliances, PII leakage checks, failed outcome routes, or any human review which has gone wrong, right? Not to the customer, not to the case file, to a proper human. And that's where you require a proper guardrail system. So when regulator asks, how do you prevent agents from leaking PII data or being tricked by a malicious memo? Your point is this slide. You just show this slide. Every NIST attack category, prompt injection, data poisoning, evasioning, model extraction, has a mitigation in this pure architecture. Okay. So this is built and purely created stack wise, right? So build it and ship it, right? That's how you want to go ahead. Now, a fraud model without monitoring is a fraud model in TK. So you need monitoring. We just talked about it, right? The monitoring at every single point is very important, very crucial, right? This charge is basically a complete chart from a tier one bank during a coordinated APP scam wave. You might have seen that. They were monitoring monthly. By week 6, PSI breached and 0.25% on three top features. Performance dropped roughly by 40% before even retraining can actually catch up, and they lost real money in 6 weeks immediately, right? So this chart which you see at the bottom, this is the example of how smart you have to be with monitoring, correct? So your data drift, your concept drift, your performance, your fairness, all of these points hits LLM models. Now you have to maintain them, you have to log them, you have to monitor them. A prioritizing system of alerts, right? So instead of thousands of alerts, hundreds of thousands of alerts, you just get 100 alerts which are really important, which matters the most. And this is super important for the analyst, which will be sitting at the end of the queue. Because what is the point if your analyst has been doing the same job from previous? He used to handle 80,000 cases, and now your analyst is still handling 80,000 cases, but still the ML system, the LLM system, the agentic system that you have set up, and it is sending all of those tickets again back to the analyst. No point, right? So you have to clear it out. You have to rely on agents at certain point of time, and you have to clear certain cases which are really not so important for analysts to look at, right? So there has to be certain auto actions. There has to be certain low priority sweeps which can sweep out, but then the important tickets goes to analyst queues, right? So this is the slide kind of your fraud ops director will remember always, right? Hundreds and thousands of raw alerts per day. This is a real number for an average bank, right? Deduplications, composite risk, confidence time impact, there is a priority ranking. All of these cases comes down to the analyst. Now there are three tiers. Tier one is auto action. So under 5 seconds, high risk confidence, high risk or low impact dispute risk goes in tier one, right? Auto action. Analyst queue has under 15 minutes of SLA, pre-stage with evidence, and have all the information immediately available for him, 70 to 80% of cases. And then tier three is batch, non-trashed, pattern mining overnight, and just get done right with it. So you have to design this alert system nicely so that you can maintain the whole stack. And this is the entire cloud agnostic, region aware, audit first solution. Now, why this approach is because in this deployment architecture, if you can see, right, the deployment architecture is modularized so that even if you want to change your cloud technology tomorrow, you want to replace one of the component pieces out of it, you can simply do that. If I want to sweep from AWS to Azure tomorrow, if I want to sweep from Azure to GCP tomorrow, I can still do it because I have my entire system deployed in a cloud agnostic tech. Now that this approach, every company should think about every now and then because everybody is anyways on cloud, correct? So you have to always modularize your deployments. Do not put everything into one block that is going to eat up your entire system. Rather, break it away as per the dependencies, as per the things. So for example, let's say you have multiple planes, right? Data plane, where you're streaming online feature store, data lake, graph DB, vector DB, all sits in data plane parallel. Then there is a computer plane in a private VPC network where you have Kubernetes, ML scoring, LLM endpoints, your whatever BYOK encryption models you have, or let's say region bounded policies you have. There is no public AI, there is no public APIs without any explicit policy approval. And then agent runtime LangGraph, your custom orchestrator is co-located with all the LLM endpoints there. Then there is a governance plane. The governance plane wraps everything is into your IAM policies, your KMS, your BYOK, okay? Immutable warm audits. There is CISO secret manager, there is SIEM, active passive DR region replicating stream systems, right? All of this sits into governance plane parallelly. And finally, you have a proper, MAS tech risk management, your EU DORA or US OCCSR model risk. All of these are pointing to proper compliance row, right? And with this architecture, you can comply to every single compliances that is actually required for fraud. For example, in Singapore, there is a MAS tech risk management. For Europe, there is DORA, DORA. For Europe, yeah, for Europe there is DORA. For US, there is OCCSR, right? Most of the banks already have most of this. They just need to actually streamline it properly. They just need to separate it out properly. They just need to feature store. IAM audits are already there for them, right? This is not new pieces for the banks currently. These agent runtimes, vector DBs, you just need to slot it together. You don't have to rebuild all of them. You just have to target 1 year project. Within 1 year, you can get all of this integrated properly and without any greenfielding, right? Then 13-step agentic fraud workflow. So a quick reference of how these steps goes. So don't read every step. Just go to the step number 4. Look at this step number 4, right? You see there is rule pre-screen, correct? This rule pre-screen is deterministic floor, hard block, which exists here. Then there is step number 7, 8, and 9. These are the actual agentic layers. This is where the most of the value lies in between. Step number 11 is the only step where human owns. All the steps are handed over to your pure system. Then step number 13 is a feedback closed loop, basically, and every analyst verdicts tomorrow mornings improves entire Mondays model, right? And this is the spec sheet that you want to take, right? You can take a photo of this. You can reason with this particular application steps. Then 11 production patterns you cannot skip. Today's grade, right? All of these are super important. So number 1 is deterministic logic floor, where the rules engine remains completely authoritative for known bad. The agent recommends, it does not override the system. Remember always, right? We are not creating a system which is recommended or which is overridden. Sorry, which is removed or reestablished. It is just recommended. If your architecture has an agent overriding the rule engine, then you have a problem. So your agent should not override any of the rule engine. Okay. Number 2, tool restricted agent. So explicitly allow list per agent. The transaction risk agent does not need any read access to customer PII. So remember, you do not have to give access to any of the PII data yet. That is not required at all. Even if you have CID access, even if you have all the approvals and all the types of governance policies approved, still do not go for handing over PI data to any of the LLM models, right? Make sure that your agents are blocking it. And number 3, your immutable audits, most important pieces, right? So you have to kind of look into the audits, worm storages, and hash chained data. Without any of this, you cannot get the system approved for the final shipment to the production. Okay. So all of these 11 patterns, you cannot skip totally. You have to have them, right? Just go through them high level once, right? These are the points without which your agent is incomplete in production. Okay. Now, live use cases. There are a couple of use cases which are super, super relevant. I will show you a demo. I have something built, but I'll show it at the end, right? This demo which I have is kind of a sentimental demonstration of what agentic fraud ops console looks like and how it would seem in real time, right? A suspicious transaction arrives and immediately within 5 specialist agent immediately triggers, inspects it from different angle perspectives. Transaction pattern, device behaviorality, then there is a mule network graph, there is a policy compliance, everything runs parallelly. Each agent produces its own structured evidence rather than free from chat, correct? And an orchestrator combines all of the findings into composite risk, confidence, and then decision is taken based on the engine which chooses and allows to step up and block and escalate. So this is how your system should run parallelly. Okay. So I'll show you. I'll come to that. These are the sample payloads, right? This is what actually you would like to wire and set up. Then agent reasoning and case output. So this is how your reasoning should look. Okay. Your case output should look like this so that your analyst can actually, take information from the confidence and composite risk score also. You need to generate the score. You need to pass it there. And your kind of MTTR response coming down from 45 minutes to 4 minutes. That is a pure win-win situation for both, right? Governance and risk, what will go wrong? So in cases of governance and risk, there are 12 risks, well named mitigations. Every one of these has caused the production incidents somewhere in industry over the last 18 months, and that's why we are coming here, right? So there is bias, fairness, subgroup of monitoring, and CI fairness test. There is, if you cannot prove your model treats demographic subgroup equally, the regulator will prove it for you, kind of, right? So you'll have to not take that result in. And then there are hallucination reasoning, there is over automation, there is mandatory human in the loop every single time, there is never auto file SAR, there is never auto closure customer accounts, and all of these things comes into picture. So these all things, if you implement, it might go wrong, even if you have a full scale picture that how to implement this entire system on top of a fraud system, right? So you have to take care of all of these points. What could go wrong with governance and with risk? So if you pick up any of this point, let's say you over mandate every human in the loop, no point of setting up the huge system, right? If you do not take care of hallucination, no point of having your RAG data. If your RAG data is there, no point of making your model more creative, correct? So all of these things have to be taken care of. Schema validation. Your agent also has to have citation every single time. Without citation, do not accept response from agent, right? Just say no. We don't know. We don't want to know the answer, right? That's all. That's how you want to be very strict about it. The KPIs which you have to decide whether this works or no. So these are the KPIs: detection quality, business impact, operational efficiency, and AI specific health. Why? Because these all points, they will actually help you to make proof that it is not overriding humans. It is actually kind of system which you have built in the bank. So I track this in the bank. We argue about threshold. The numbers is between 10% to 18%, depending upon the team use cases, right? So you have to fight with this with your internal departments. And yeah, those are the KPIs which are very important. I've just listed a couple of KPIs which I know personally, but there might be other KPIs depending upon the banks, depending upon the situations or scenarios that you are monitoring and managing, right? There is detection quality, which usually has precision, recall, F1 score. Again, those who are coming from background of agentic or background of machine learning or AI engineering will understand these terms, what I'm speaking. If you're not understanding, this is gibberish for you. You might want to Google these terms. These are very important terms, right? Which you want to always monitor. So for detection quality, you need always precision, recall, F1, AUC, then false positive rate, FP, TP, FN. There is business impact, such as fraud loss prevented or alert to case conversion. These are the pure cases, things that you want to prove. There is operational efficiency, where you have to prove the investigator productivity. That investigator itself will say, you know what, I'm feeling productive. This is the records, this is the stack, and this is how I have impact. This is how it has impacted on my KPI, right? Overall. And the fourth one is completely AI specific health, where model drift indicator, agent tool call accuracy, explanatory quality score. For all of this, you need observability stack sitting on top of your agents, which will give the health of an AI system. Your AI specific health system also impacts a lot. Remember that. Do not ignore after setting up your entire AI agentic setup. You need to audit, set up observability stack on top of AI agents as well. It is very important. Lastly, there is adversarial AI, the new threat surface, which is very crazy right now. There is prompt injection, membership interfaces, model extraction, deepfake social engineering, data poisoning. All of this is now again threat on top of AI. So we were implementing AI to avoid threat. Now there are new threats which are emerging along with AI. So these also you should not just ignore. You have to always take care of these threats as well, such as evasion. Like fraudsters can craft transactions that slip past any machine learning, as it's a real transaction, and your defense system goes down and the transition goes up. you know Data poisoning is basically corrupting the trainings data by brute forcing the information through your own feedback channels. Give huge amount of feedback, so you have to restrict your feedback channel also at certain point of time, and make sure your data poisoning is not happening, correct? Prompt injection can be a new 2025 kind of attack, which is like a malicious memos, beneficiary name, document field, and then it will slowly prove itself that it is authentic, and then it will hit a single line which will break your entire system. And model extractions, right? Basically querying the model to give your database, or give your rate limits, or changing your queue monitoring systems can also happen. So you have to be very cautious about it, right? This is a pure generic, pure real threat about AI. And three audiences, three explanations: for your regulators, customers, analysts, right? For your regulators, they want policy citations, they want audit trails, fairness evidences delivered through SOPs in references. That's why we told that your original systems are still intact, you still want them. Customer wants a plain language reasoning, proper, no fraudulent probability, numbers, technicality. No, they want simply, we saw an unusual pattern. Please confirm via biometric. End of story. Your analyst, Analyst wants a feature attribution, similar past cases, agents rational, and SHAP values, natural language answers, and actually linked cases historically, so he can also validate and verify. These are the three things that you want to bring it up with the help of agents, right? So build a proper explanation layer once you have the entire agentic layer set up, correct? Now, moving towards last slides, build versus buy, where to spend, where your engineering capital is gone. So buy your streaming Kafka, Nisys, event hubs, buy your streaming processing, Flink, Spark, right? Buy your ML scoring platforms, but build your own models on top of it. Buy GraphDB, VectorDB, but again, extend it by the case management system, by audits, IAM, KMS, Siemens, right? So build agentic orchestration logic. This is your differentiator. The way your bank reasons about the fraud is not the same as the every other bank next door, right? So you have to build it properly. Build it with a specialist agent prompt, tool catalog, your typology, your banking terms, your SOPs, your historical case patterns, and no vendor knows about the frauds that has happened within your bank. Build a proper investigator copilot UI UX. That UI UX is tightly coupled to your case management system, and that UX is where most of the analyst adoption lives, dies, everything. I have seen literally almost millions of dollars of tools getting rejected just because of the UI UX is bad, right? So you have to be very focused about that. I know I'm talking about UX, but yeah, important. Then your 90 day to 6 months to 18 months of roadmap, build foundation, first production workflow within 6 months, and over the year you can create a proper scalable governance model where you can ship it out, right? So that's about it. Your end-to-end agent augmented, not agent replaced. Remember, system. So number one, AI agents are not magic. Always remember, they are fraud detectors. They are orchestrators of rules, machine learning, graph intelligence, policy knowledge, human judgment. Anyone who promises you that agent is a system, they have not built one. Always remember, agent is not a system. Agent is a proper orchestrator. Okay. Number two, the real value comes from a coordinator, not a replacement. So you have to always make sure that you are building a coordinator, a co-pilot, not a replacement system for your analyst. The agent gathers evidences, reasons over it, explains itself, route correctly. Humans are still deciding, right? Because you cannot eliminate human from the decision level. That is the architecture that will survive in long term. So never replace a human in this entire picture. Number three, the institutions that are building the stack first will set the floor and the rest will set by the industry. So remember, the one that waits, you'll be paying a huge amount of money behind compliance fines. So start implementing today. This is the future tech. And when I say it's future tech, it's not something that it is only available in future. It's rightly available right now. So the more smarter your future becomes, the more smarter your systems also have to be, and they have to fight back, right? So we are not kind of at an inflection. Fraud is being actually industrialized by Gen AI, and the defenses have to pay a huge amount of money. So architecture, which I've just shown you, is one of the way to do it. There are hundreds of ways to do it. I genuinely believe what I have designed is one of the right ways to implement a proper agentic system. Build agents before agents will try to learn to replace you. So you have to start building agents if you're a technical person. And lastly, all of this information which I have shown on the screen, these are the sources which I have brought it from. You can go through these sources. You can refer these sources. These are not vendor blogs. These are not any anonymous claims. These are not any industry sources, right? These are all the actual sources which I have taken to build this huge slide. It's a 30 pages slide, I know. I might have talked a lot, but yeah. If you're an AI engineer or a solution architect, take this as a reference architecture diagram, map your bank's current stack on top of it, and find the gaps, then come find me. I am always there. Okay, so I'm happy to help you. I'm happy to guide you to the right way. If you're a fraud risk lender, run human override rate matrix currently based on your ML stack and try to see if it's actually making sense, whatever I've just talked about. If you're a CIO, CTO, C-class audit, then C-class audience, then definitely 90 days of roadmap, plan it, run it, start it. Don't wait for it, right? This is the most important thing nowadays in current world. With that, I'll stop. I have talked a lot. Find me after this on LinkedIn. And yeah, I'm happy to help. Thank you, GSDC. I'm open for
Perfect. Thank you so
questions.
much, Nisar, for another wonderful and insightful session and covering one of the sensitive domain, which is finance and fraud. So thank you so much. We are really always grateful to all your contribution to GSTC. And as I believe that we are open for the Q&A, and I would love to request all the participants here to drop your questions right away. We have 5 to 10 minutes maximum to cover your questions. So do not hesitate, drop your questions in the chat box. And I guess Prem has raised his hand. Prem, would you mind sharing your concern or question over the chat box itself? That would be great. And meanwhile, if we get a question, until we get a question, I would like to tell all of you that I do have some great announcement regarding the upcoming panel discussions, which is happening this week. So please stay connected till the end and let us know if you have any questions. And also, I wanted to inform you all, I have already shared Nisarga's LinkedIn profile link in the chat box. Feel free to reach out to him in case if you have anything or anything discuss, if you want to discuss regarding today's session. Outstanding session, Nisarg. So I think our audience don't have question for today, Nisarg. Do you want to say some? Maybe it's like they understood everything because you already provided a lot of clarification, and I believe it's all clear for everyone. So okay, so please do share your final thoughts so we can proceed with the closing.
Sure. So, final thoughts simply, as I mentioned already, right? Like this claims, and this comes from three different perspectives. So, if you are coming as an audience from an AI engineering perspective, AI engineering side, you need to kind of importantly look at your solution architect, map it properly, design it properly, right? Your architecture diagrams based on your bank's architecture is very important. Not necessarily you have to have worked on the only banking domain. You can come from other domains also, but remember the pattern which I've shared is a crucial pattern which you need to follow, and you need to actually understand what is the existing tech stack available in the banks. So that is one key takeaway for AI engineers. Always try to consider that existing stack. Do not try to replace it. Second, fraud or risk leaders which are working in these banks as a prominent leaders. So that leadership team, you need to always make sure that human override rate metric on your current ML stack, you just need to track it and try to check that how much that override rate is, honestly speaking, right? That will actually give you a clarity whether to go for this or not. And second is C-class people, where you have a complete roadmap, which I have shared earlier in the previous slides, if you remember, where you can take this roadmap and you can start the foundation, because do not wait for it. And this is not going to cost huge. But yes, this is something which you need to start as soon as possible, which will give a whole clarity about the future, right? That's my key takeaway. And thank you so much for joining. Happy to be always here. Thanks, Preetham.
Thank you so much, Nisarga. Yes, thank you so much for sharing such a wonderful thought. And we look forward to have you for another upcoming sessions as well, as we do have your session scheduled this week itself, right? So I would like to tell all the participants, please do join all the session which is scheduled this week. We have Nisarga again who will be joining us to share the insight on different topics. So please do join us. You can use the same link and the same time zone this is happening on. So please allow me a minute so I can quickly share my screen and we can proceed with the closure of the today's session. So this is regarding the today's featured session we had on. We do have all these certifications for all of you. So you can go for AI Foundations, AI Tool Mastery and Agentic AI, AI Domain Specialist, AI Strategic Integrated, AI Guardian, and AI Change Evangelist Leadership Advocate. All these listed certifications you can opt out. You can use this AI 20 to get 20% discount. And if you need further assistance, kindly get in touch with our learning advisors for more information. And I have already shared all the offer details along with the promo code in the chat box. So feel free to check that out and do sign up yourself for this certification program in case if you really are looking forward to upskill yourself, right? And to stay industry relevant in this AI era. And in case if you're wondering about the partnership program, if you are interested to know more about it, feel free to reach out to the relevant spot, which is mentioned in the slide. You can take a screenshot of it. Also, I have already shared the screenshot and the details in the chat box. So whether it's in case if you're looking for any individual certifications or accredited university academic partnership, authorized training partnership, or it's enterprise level partnership, get in touch with our relevant spot, which is mentioned for further information about the training programs that we have, partnership programs. And this is about the utility tool. This tool will help you to level up your profile. It will help you to improve your LinkedIn profile score, your AI skill score. Also, it will help you to build your personal brand. And this tool has a feature where you can create AI generated resumes as well. So feel free to use AUG100 as a code to gain 100% discount. And you will find the utility link in the chat box. I've already shared it with you all. So please feel free to check that out and let us know if any feedback for us. And this is the panel discussion I was mentioning about. So we do have the panel discussion scheduled on this entire AI adoption conference, which will be covering the entire life cycle of the AI. We have already done with some previous panel discussion, which was a very insightful, and we got amazing engagement across all the platforms. So we have already covered value, deploy, and orchestrate, and we'll be having upskill session scheduled on Wednesday. So please do not miss this. As you can see, we have these amazing global experts, AI leaders, VPs, directors, head of AI will be joining us to share their insights, right? So this is happening from 15th April. This is started from 15th April till happening till 30th May 2026. And this is happening on a different time slot, which is same for the AI, 9:30 p.m. Singapore, 5:30 p.m. GST, 2:30 p.m. BST, 8:30 a.m. CST, and 7 p.m. IST. So please do join us according to your time zones. Maybe set a reminders for yourself that you won't miss this insightful sessions coming up. And this is another panel discussion which is happening on learning and development in enterprise, and open panel discussion. So this is happening tomorrow, 5th May 2026. We have already had one panel discussion earlier in April, and tomorrow we'll be having another panel discussion with these amazing ladies, industry experts. They'll be joining us to share their insights. So this is happening on a different time slot, which is 10:30 according to Central, 10:30 a.m., 11:30 p.m. Singapore, 9 p.m. Indian Standard Time, and 11:30 a.m. Eastern. So please do join us. You'll find the registration link for this. I have already shared it in the chat box along with the WhatsApp group link as well. And this is our regular learning and development session for this week. We have the speakers, industry experts scheduled from 4th May till 8th May 2026. So please do join us. You'll find the registration link for this as well in the chat box. And this is our another continuation of ISO series, which is happening this week. And we have this incredible panel of experts lined up for this week from 4th May till 8th May 2026. This is happening on a different time slot, which is 9:30 a.m. Central, 10:30 p.m. Singapore, 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time, and 10:30 a.m. Eastern. So please do join us, as we'll be covering the insightful topic as well. And these are our referral champions. Let's congratulate to them for referring maximum people and appreciate them for the same. And we'll be announcing all the final winners at the end of this series. So you still have a time to refer maximum people and be the winner, as top 3 winners will be featured on the GSDC Wall of Fame. And all the winners who have earned 50 or more than 50 points will be getting back to them for the rewards, which is worth $400. And GSDC would like to introduce the spotlight of the week. It's just very simple that we'll be making a spotlight of the week to that professional who will be sharing their experiences, their learning stories, and learning takeaways from the sessions that they do join, right? So feel free to share your learning stories as well over the social media. Tag GSDC. You can use the hashtags, which is hashtag GSDC Impact or hashtag Learning with GSDC. And we'll be picking up one of the best experience that we find. And we'll be, of course, we'll be making that professional will be recognizing over the social media, right? So feel free to share your learning takeaways. And in case if you're looking for any speaker opportunity at GSDC, feel free to share your speaker profile with us. We do have global platforms like Learning Capsule, Webinar, and Podcast. And this is our platform for connecting. You can connect with us over social media. You can connect with us over LinkedIn and Twitter, Instagram, because we'll be posting the daily updates over there. Also, we do have the WhatsApp community group where we'll be announcing all the new launches on certification program. So please do join us. I have already shared all the links in the chat box for your convenience. And at last, I would love to thank you all, including our speaker, for joining us today and making today's session very insightful. We look forward to have you all join for the upcoming session. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care. Thank you, Nisarg. I'll see you again.